Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Shemawah Shai Bahashem Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathens that look like the heathens. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm coming back at you with another lesson. And this is, it shouldn't be long, but it's going to be, a pretty condemning historical lesson, referencing the scriptures, of course, to the condemnation of the nation that is called Edom. And there's a video that's put on by GMS Hasten to Preach with the head of the Dallas camp and some of the other brothers, and it's called A Message to Mount Seir. And I started listening to it on my phone, and when I got in the house, I decided click on the computer to watch it there. And when I put it in, look what popped up. All right, Petra, a walk through the rose red city, and then all these books about Mount Seir, Western Palestine. Here, look, Mount Seir in Western Palestine. Then it says a history of Edom and Khazaria. All right, I'm going to have to get this book right here. Matter of fact, let's click on it. Let's see. I want to take your sweet time. Hey, this site cannot be reached. All right, well, we're going to look into that later. But there we go. This one right here. A History of Khazaria, and it's on eBay. All right. The Other Israel. Wow, that's the whole title. It's like I said, I tried to click on it and it wouldn't show it. And then there seems to be more. Wow, look at this. Who was Esau, Edom? All right. Yeah, who was Esau, Edom? The whole of Edward Mount Seir and Sinai. Jacob versus Israel. So you have to understand that who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who is Yahweh Shai, he comes back to a world that's ruled by the nation of Edom. All right, the nation of Edom will be ruling the world in the end of days when the Lord returns. So that means that the lie that was propagated by the Christian churches, it's not holding up. All right, it's clearly not holding up because Isaiah 63:1 clearly states, and you can even that the Lord returns to a world ruled by Edom, and it says that you can even see, and when you're looking at this this building that they carved in the side of the mountain at Mount Seir, they still built like that to this day, and and there's eagles on the top of it. And the scripture said, matter of fact, let me grab a couple scriptures, and I'm going to read some evidences from Facts Are Facts again. All right, by Benjamin Friedman, a former Jewish guy turned Christian who basically gave up all the inside information, who was alive during the time that the Balfour Declaration was created, and and then when they took the land of Israel, fulfilling Bible prophecy that that strangers would get up in there. All right, and that can be found in the book of I think there's Ezekiel 35 or 36, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's Lamentation. Well, either way, I'll find it. Let me find it real quick. And it says Lamentation 5:2. It says our inheritance is turns to strangers, our houses to aliens. All right, so you got a strange people, that are living in the land of Israel. Okay, and then the one I really wanted, I think that was in Ezekiel 36 or 35. Yes, Ezekiel 36 and 2. And it says, thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy have said against you, because you got to look what it says, Edom versus Israel, you know, right here in this book right here, Edom versus Israel. That's what it says. I clicked on them and they wouldn't pop up. So, but it says, thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. All right. And as the brothers were bringing out the fact that they're over there in Davos, and they like to be up high. Davos is the highest point in Europe, supposedly, the highest city. And that's where they are right now, trying to make these decisions. And when it says, aha, that's a common saying among the Jews. Even the ancient high places are in ours possession. So you got, the nation of Edom is in possession of the land of the Lord. All right, because when you go down to verse 5, it makes it clear the Lord's going to return to a world ruled by Edom, and he's going to punish them for taking the land of Israel. And it said, therefore, thus saith the Lord power. This is Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which I have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their hearts, with the spiteful mind to cast it out for a prey. So the nation of Edom appointed the land of the Lord into their own possession. And then said, aha, even the high ancient places are ours. Okay, so I'm going to go into this book that was written here. Click this back. Yeah, I want that book, The History of Edom and Khazari of the Other Israel. Yeah, and because this book, basically, that lines right up with what's in this book. All right, the truth about the Khazars. All right, so I'm going to page 21. All right, and I'll just read it through the camera. It says, the earliest version of the New Testament in English, all right, from the Latin Vulgate edition is Wycliffe. Hold on, let me move this. All right, it says, or Wycliffe edition. Why is it fading in and out like that? There we go. Published in 1380 in the Wycliffe edition, Jesus is mentioned as one of is mentioned as one of the, and you can see it's called Huiz. Huiz is how they pronounced it. There was no J. There was no Jew sound. They created that word. It says, and that was the 14th century English Latin, and it reads, or it was Huey, or Huiz if it was Jews, and Huey if it was Jew, and singular. All right. In 1380, Wycliffe edition in English of Gospel John the 19th and 19 reads, the Huiz of Nazareth, king of the Huiz. All right. So it didn't ever say Jew. So they purposely put that word in the Bible, just like they put the word Edom in Deuteronomy 27, I believe, where it says, thou shalt not abhor Edomite. And when you look and research it, you find out that word is Assyrian and not Edomite. And how they put the word Easter in the Bible, how they put Lucifer in the Old Testament. All right. They put things to try to benefit the lies and the narrative that they were trying to create. So let's continue to read. All right. So here, this is at page 22. At the bottom, it says, I have explained the word Jew was first introduced into the English language in the 18th century. It is the one and only implication, inference of Inudo, all right, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, was Judean. However, during the 18th, 19th, 20th century, a well-organized and well-financed international pressure group created a so-called secondary meaning of the word Jew. Among the English-speaking peoples of the world, this so-called secondary meaning for the word Jew bears no relation whatsoever to the 18th century original connotation of the word Jew. It is a misrepresentation. All right. So they attach this new word that they created to themselves, just like you won't find the word Semite in the Bible, yet they use it every day to try to describe themselves because they created the word Semite and to really to go right along with this newly created word Jew, so that they can be the only one in that category for the, or because they don't even acknowledge the other people that are supposedly Semites. But it says a secondary meaning of the word Jew today bears little relation, to its original and correct meaning, as a secondary meaning today for the word camel bears the original correct meaning of the word camel, or the secondary meaning today for the word ivory bears the original correct meaning of the word ivory. The secondary meaning of the word camel is a cigarette, all right, by the name, but its original and correct meaning is a desert animal. By the ancient name, the secondary meaning of the word ivory today is a piece of soap, but its original correct meaning is the tusk of a male elephant. So basically, he's making a comparison to the newly created word Jew had nothing to do with the Israelites or with anyone from the kingdom of Judea, which was made up of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel. So this is some pretty condemning evidence here. It says, jumping down to this paragraph on page 23, it reads, the secondary meaning of the word Jew today is practically totally eclipsed, to the original correct meaning of the word Jew when it is introduced as a word in the English language. This phenomena is not uncommon. So it's the new meaning has completely eclipsed what it actually means. That's why people are so confused. And some people will say it's a people and some people will say it's a religion. All right, but it says United States Supreme Court has recognized a secondary meaning of words. And this. Yes, they do. All right. The highest court in the land has established as the basic law, the secondary meanings can acquire priority rights to, this is how the devil operates, to any use of any dictionary word, well planned and well financed worldwide publicity through every available media by well recognized groups, so-called self-styled Jews, for 3 centuries has created a secondary meaning for the word Jew, which has completely blacked out the original and correct meaning of the word Jew. There can be no doubt about that. Oh, wow, man. So you know what? That's actually enough. I mean, it's a little bit more, but it's pretty much saying the same thing. So I'm going to go back to the scriptures. Let's go to Zechariah. And we're just living in that time, man, where all these things, because, this video might be deleted, even though I haven't said anything offensive or calling any name calling, anything like that, just bringing out facts in history. But the truth is offensive to people whose whole existence is based upon lies. You have to understand that, or they'll call it hate or misinformation. So basically when you expose lies, then, you're misinformation. But this is Zechariah 9:6. And it reads, and the bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. So let me go to this 1931 Rogers Thesaurus, all right, dictionary. And here's the word bastard, all right. See how we were talking about secondary meanings? Well, modern dictionaries, this definition has been removed for bastard. All right. You know what? I don't know why it wants to do that. How about there we go. It says, if you can see, I highly suggest that you screenshot this, but this is a bastard. All right. Illegitimate child, love child, fraud, fake, phony, sham and falseness. So those people over in the land, they're fraudulent, they're fake, they're phony, they're frauds. They are not the children of God. They're not the children of Israel. All right. Go to a couple quick, very familiar scriptures. This is Deuteronomy. I bring this out at least once a week. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. It says, Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemy shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. All right, as simple as that. And by speaking this truth, we're treading upon their lies, because their lies sit up high. All right, the rabbinical, offices throughout the world, here in Babylon, over in the Holy Land and around the world, they sit in high places, and we're treading on them with truth, not with insults and lies, but with truth. All right, they're the ones that lie. That's why they're so offended when this stuff comes out. Let's go to Isaiah, because they're getting ready to be brought down from heaven. All right. As a matter of fact, I'll give you an example of how we were brought down from heaven. This is Lamentations 2 and 1, and it reads, How have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. All right, so you got to remember, King David, spent his time bringing all the nations of the world under subjection, and then handed that kingdom over to King Solomon, who had a 40-year reign of peace, with all nations being under Israel. And we've been scattered and broken ever since he died, and the kingdom was stripped. Was split in two, and we've pretty much been in distress ever since. And because of our sin, we got put on the bottom. We fell from heaven. We fell from rulership. So now Esau, Edom, is exposed, and he's about to fall from heaven. And heaven, it has dual meanings, but this meaning that I'm about to read is talking about rulership. This is Isaiah 14, and I'm going to start at verse 12. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 11. And it says, And thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of the vials and the worms is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And worms represent death and decay. And that pompous, arrogant lies are being brought down, and they're embarrassed and ashamed now. And they're on the defense. So they're going to try to use the same media that they used to propagate these lies for over 3 centuries now. All right. Especially now with mass media and the television. All right. With the internet. But this same media, the internet being the main form of the internet, this is also what's destroying them. Because the internet is prophesied in the Bible for this truth to spread through it in Psalms, the 19th chapter. All right. Verse 12, Isaiah 14:12. It says, How thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Lucifer just simply means the enlightened ones, the illuminated ones. All right. And the true illuminated ones are the men of the Lord. All right. Are the nation of Zion, of Israel. All right. Remember, they're fake, fraudulent, and phony. All right. They're frauds. They're a bunch of posers. All right. But it says, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? All right. For thou hast said in thine heart, in their mind, I will ascend into the heaven and will exalt my throne above the God, and I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. So they pretty much have ruled the world from here in America. All right. And they do sit up high over the congregations. I mean, look at, how Elder Yashawamba keeps bringing out how they're meeting in Davos, the highest point in Europe, highest city in Europe. All right. And it says, and they have, set themselves up high. All right. But it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So they're trying to be godlike with their pseudoscience, with their science, which the Lord gave them. The fact that they have satellites in the skies. They have the skyscrapers, and they have the mountain military bases. All right. That they actually achieve the power of flight. They think that they're, like God, but they can't. because the chariots were flying way before the so-called white man, and they did, you know, how they ignorantly, how they purposely lie fraudulently and talk about UAPs and UFOs, knowing that those are the chariots of Israel. You have paintings from the 13th, 14th century that had you know, things flying around in the sky in the background. Planes weren't flying back then. All right. But it says, verse 15, Isaiah 14:15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. All right. And they that see thee shall narrowly look and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, to shake the kingdom? So it just told you that Lucifer, which was the subject matter of these scriptures, this whole group of scriptures I just read, it referred to him as a man. It said, is this the man? And what man is that? The man, the nation of Edom. All right? The nation of Edom, who are being brought down from heaven. All right, and they're only going to get so far. Shit is about to get real. The Passover is going to be March 5th. All right? You know, because spring usually starts somewhere in March, usually toward the end of March. But this year is March 5th. All right? Going according to the new moons. All right? And digital currency goes full blown March 8th. And March is also a month of war. Their war god, one of their war gods that they worship. So a lot's going to happen. And then what's his name? The funny looking dude that looks like one of the old Muppets. All right, like a perv with the bald face and the bald head. Swab, Mr. Swab, Professor Swab. All right, the same way that Fauci predicted that there will be a pandemic that President Trump will face. Professor Swab just predicted that there's going to be a blackout and everything's going to shut down. And we're talking, there'll be no telephones, no 911, no traffic signals, no police, no firemen. And man, even just 24 hours of that in America could be catastrophic, especially in the city, you know, like New York, Chicago, Baltimore, LA, places like that. And if it lasts, and I seriously doubt when it happens, it's just going to be one day. It's probably going to be days, maybe even weeks at a time. And the amount of death, destruction, and chaos that can happen in that amount of time, you know. And then when they come back on, they're going to come back on completely, when they reset completely.